Hello, hello, it's Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. It is time for Paper Pumpkin. This is Batter Up May 2021. So this is the kit. And we have stamps. Grandpa, ever, dad, son, uncle, friend, brother, mom. You're the greatest of all time. So you can have, actually, of all time is, I believe, a separate stamp. Let's make sure that it isn't attached to the greatest. It is attached, which is fine. You can say, Uncle, you're the greatest of all time. You could also cover this up and we could do you're the greatest mom or dad, whatever you wanted to. You're the best, all-star, baseball bat, and a baseball cap. So those are the stamps, and of course, you know, you can use these over and over. So that's one of the best things about Paper Pumpkin coming to your house. You know you're going to have stamps you can use, reuse, and a Stampin' Spot. And this month it's Night of Navy. And a really neat surprise, look at this. 3 pieces of bubble gum. So you can double bubble. You can chew some gum and stamp at the same time. And then it talks a little bit about next month in June, expressions in color. And next month you're going to receive 2 Stampin' Spots. So you'll have 2 little ink spots, which is pretty neat. So you just need to sign up now through June 10th if you're not already a subscriber. So let's see what we have in here. It's always wrapped up in such beautiful tissue paper. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button down below. I'm trying to grow my channel. So we have everything wrapped up, and there's instructions, and we'll take this out. I'll lay it out, and we'll look at it, and then I'll make one of each design of the cards. And I normally make alternatives, which I'm going to, but I'm going to do that in another video. Before I show you what's in that, don't forget, again, if you haven't signed up for the June Expressions in Color, you might want to receive your own Paper Pumpkin kit. And I have a Connect, Craft, and Collect. So from May 4th to June 14th, Stampin' Up! Is having a special Stampin' Rewards, additional Stampin' Rewards if you qualify for those rewards by placing an order. And you can get some friends together. And the first additional starts with an order of $250. You receive your 10% Stampin' Rewards plus an additional 25, and then it kind of goes up from there. And then really quick, because this runs out the end of May, so May 31st, you can join my team. You can pick $155 worth of product, and that can be in the mini or the annual catalog, and you can mix and match or just order from one or the other. It doesn't matter. But $155 worth of product, and you only pay $99. So, and if you want to sell, you can. If you don't, you want to purchase this for yourself to craft with as a hobby demonstrator, that's perfectly fine too. So you can look for more information, how to contact me if you have any questions at rusticbarncards.com. And then in the description down below, there will be a link where you can just click on that and join. I'd love for you to join my team. Okay, let's see what is in our Paper Pumpkin box. So here we have everything laying out, and we have a brochure of instructions, and it shows you the 3 designs. And this makes 9 cards, 3 of each. And the instructions are inside. And they're marked 1, 2, and 3. And again, for the second design and the third design. And then also it shows you everything that you're going to need for the first design, so you can have those laid out on the table for you when you're going to stamp. Shows you everything you're going to need for the second design and everything you'll need for the third design. So that's kind of an extra bonus that hasn't been there before, so I like that. And they also have a QR code, which you can use your phone and find detailed instructions for this kit. So that's something that we have added. And then here's all the kit components. And it says it coordinates with Bumblebee, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Real Red, Smoky Slate, Soft Suede, and White. And you can do more with this month's kit, and it gives you some alternative cards. Okay, well, let's make one of each. But before I do that, I was getting so excited, I want to show you what's in the kit. So we have coordinating envelopes, and they are all the same. So we have 9 of those, but we have 3 different card bases. So we have this one with the red and maybe kind of gray in there. And we have this card base. It looks kind of like wood grain. And then we have this card base right here. We have some dots, some red and yellow dots, or Bumblebee and Real Red. We also have 3 sheets of decorative labels that we can use. And then we have labels to stamp on to put on our cards. And we have some dimensionals and twine. And of course our 3 pieces of bubble gum, our Stampin' Spot, and our stamps. So now we're ready to start stamping. So for our first card, we're going to need the card base with the stripes. Go ahead and punch out 1 baseball, the All-Star, and we'll need 2 of the baseball bats. And then you'll need the red rectangle, and glue dots, embellishments, and we're going to be using sun and our dimensionals. Now I am going to be using my mini glue dots just because they're a little bit easier for me to use, and I don't want to be less time for me to use these and go ahead and take the taps off of these. But you just can use your fingernail, and you just take the top off, and then you have the glue dot. Although I think I still don't have the glue dot. There we go. And then you have the glue dot. Okay. And I will use my Night of Navy rather than the ink spot. So I'm going to open that up, and then we are going to make this first card. And if we open it up to our instructions, then we'll add glue dots to the back of the red rectangle and the baseball bats, and then we will apply that on our card. So we're going to do that first. And I'm going to go ahead and fold our card. If you do not have a bone folder, you can use the edge of your block to make a crease. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my glue dots. So I've added 3 glue dots. I'm going to go ahead and put this on our card. And it looks like maybe just a little bit above the halfway. And then we'll take our bats, and we will lay one this way, and then we will crisscross. And get it about even at the top best you can. I think I need to go up just a little bit. Okay, and now if we look at the directions, it shows that we're going to stamp, use our Knight of Navy, stamp our sun on the block, and stamp it on the baseball. And then we're going to add 3 dimensionals on the back of the baseball cutout and also on our All-Star. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. Bring in a Knight of Navy, and we'll ink up sun. And we will place that right here. And that is all the stamping that we're doing on this particular card. And then I'm going to turn this over and the All-Star, and I'll add dimensionals. And then we'll just put 2 on the back of the All-Star. And I've taken the tops off. I'm going to turn this over, and we're going to go ahead and place this on our card. Take our All-Star, and we'll place that right above there, so we can still see the sun, All-Star sun. And back on the directions, it shows that you are to use 2, the Bumblebee or Daffodil Delight, I'm not sure which ones they are, and the Real Red, and 3 of the Real Red. Can't remember now which color, whether it's Daffodil Delight or Bumblebee. It looks kind of like Bumblebee. Take your pick tool. So we'll pick up one of the Bumblebee. Pretty sure it's Bumblebee. And we'll put that over here as it shows in our directions. And then we'll pick up 2 of the Real Red. If you do not have this take your pick tool, that is something you may want to get, because I use it all the time. It is so useful for so many things. And we'll put Real Red, and we'll come up here and get a Bumblebee dot. And here is our first card, and with the matching envelope. And now let's make the second card. For our next card, we're going to be using this card base. And you're going to need to go ahead and have these pieces ready to go. You'll need the embellishments. We're going to be using the baker's twine on this card, and the dimensionals and the glue dots. And you'll want to, we're going to use You're the Best and Uncle. And of course our Knight of Navy ink. So this is the card that we're going to make next. And the first thing I've done is to pop up this striped piece. And we'll take the tops off. And we will add it to our base card. And on your directions, the larger circles, that stands for the dimensionals. So we're going to add this. Then we're going to need about 12 inches, it says, of twine. And if you have grid paper, then you have a measuring or ruler at the bottom of the grid paper. Otherwise, you do have in your directions, you have a ruler right down here that you can use. So I just got through cutting a piece of baker twine, 12 inches. So that's one thing about these kits. Everything is inclusive. Everything comes with everything that you need, except you might need a pair of scissors. Okay, let me go ahead and cut and tie this into a knot, or not to a knot. Let me tie this into a bow. And baker's twine is a little bit trickier for me to use than ribbon for some reason. But I know some people like baker's twine better than ribbon. So I guess we're just all different. And now we're going to add a glue dot on this, and we're going to add it to our card. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in a glue dot. I'm going to use more than one. So I'm going to go ahead and place it kind of in the middle. And this won't show, so we're going to be covering it up, so you don't need to worry about that. And I will be giving our little trim there. Now this one is supposed to lay like this, but notice that it's not. So I'm going to kind of fix that. I'm going to take another glue dot. And I'm going to put it over here. And then I can press and now it's like I want it. Okay, now we're going to do our stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in this piece right here. And we'll open up our ink. And I'm going to use that grid paper and kind of line this up in the middle. We'll ink up our stamp. You're the best. And place it right here, straight down and straight up. And bring in Uncle. We'll ink that up and we'll place that right under here. You're the best, Uncle. Don't worry if you get a little discoloration on your stamp, even after you've cleaned it. That's okay. You can still reuse it. And then we're going to go ahead and turn this over, and we're going to add some more dimensionals. So we've added our dimensionals. We're going to bring our card back in. We're going to turn this over. And we're going to add this, but notice that you're not going to be able to see my loops. So I need to make these loops a little bit longer. So let's see if we can do that. Make the loops longer. So one thing you can do is not trim these off until you make sure that it's long enough, that this is long enough here. And here we go. So I will not have maybe the loops show, the ties of the so I have the loops showing here, but, and I guess I was thinking there's one tie there, one piece of baker's twine that you're not going to see on mine. You'll just see the loops here. But I think that's okay. But when I make the next card, then I would make sure that I don't trim until I get this piece on. So, and we're ready to, oh, no, we're not ready to make the next card because we need to add some embellishments. So our directions say that we're going to need 2 bumblebees. So I'm going to pick up 1, maybe. And I'm going to place that about right here. And then red, and then we'll 2 more. So we'll pick up the bumblebee and place it over here. And here we go. Here's our second card. So quick and easy, but you're the best uncle. I really love this month's paper pumpkin. Let's make the third one. For the last card, you're going to need this card base. We're going to need one label. Now, of course, you can, I'm making these just like it says, and then I'll have some alternatives. But you can, of course, change, you know, you're in a league of your own, Dad. This one's Grandpa, but you can, of course, change that. You're going to need this, and again, the bling, the embellishment, the dots, and dimensionals, glue dots, and it says we're going to need about 4.5 inches of the baker's twine. So I'm going to bring our measurement in. Lay that aside. And I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping first, because we only need to stamp Grandpa on that label. So I'll ink this up. And we have Grandpa, so we don't need the ink pad anymore. We can just get that out of the way. And then we're going to turn this over and add dimensionals. And one thing you want to do is make sure you press these down before you take those backings off. And we're going to bring in our card base. We're going to go ahead and place this about right here. And we've stamped Grandpa. And on the back of this, I'm going to put one dimensional and one glue dot. And I want the glue dot to be under the Paul, where it says Paul, and the dimensional under the grand. And the reason, because this label's already popped up with dimensionals, so I just want a glue dot here, but then I need a dimensional here, so it will be even with this. So I'll put the dimensional right here, and then bring in my glue dots. So I'm going to take a glue dot, and we will place that right here. And have that ready, and then we're going to make a bow using the twine, which I have already done, and then I'm going to add a glue dot about right here, and then my label will cover that glue dot, and then I will place my glue dot right here, and I will be trimming the bow, but I'm going to wait until I get the label on, so we make sure I don't. See how this is, this loop is kind of not behaving, not being up. There we go. And maybe I need one on the other side. Okay. If I put it right here, then my label should cover it up. And I think my label will get it to lay right. Maybe. Just doesn't want, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my label. And I'm going to place that right here. So that'll cover up my glue dots. So the dimensionals on this side, the glue dots on this side. And it's still wanting to twist a little bit, but I think that's okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim that. And I can trim this a little bit. And then let's add our dots, our real red and our bumblebee dots. And we'll just need one red, the direction says. And we'll put that right up here. And then we'll take one of the bumblebee dots and we'll put that over here. And we'll add one more at the bottom. So here's our third card. Grandpa, you're in a league of your own. So let's look at the 3 cards. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd love for you to subscribe. So I made one of each of the designs from Batter Up, the May Paper Pumpkin Kit. Tomorrow, I will make an alternative card using the Paper Pumpkin Batter Up kit. So thank you for watching my unboxing and making one of each card. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. Have a great week.